Hey, what is up, YouTube? Kolst here. We are back for the next review, which is Shaman. Let's just jump right into it. Whizbang Workshop, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Pop-Up Book is the first card here. 1 mana nature spell. Deal 2 damage. Summon 2 0/1 frogs with taunt. This is just absolutely... I mean, it doesn't jump out as like the most insane thing, but it's like... This does way too much for one card, right? For a 1 mana card. Deal 2 damage. Summon 2 0/1 frogs with taunt. If your opponent has like just, I mean, randomly, like if they have 1 small thing and 2 big things, it could actually block a bunch of damage because you kill off the small thing and then the big things are blocked by frogs. It could be really good, but there's also really, really strong synergy for this later. Just as a standalone card, this is really good, but then there are things, there's things we're going to talk about in a little bit that make it even better. So as a standalone card, I think this is like a 4 out of 5 probably. I think it's probably close to that good. And then it might even be higher based off of some of this energy, but we'll wait about that when we get there. But in any case, next up we have Fairy Tale Forest. 3 mana, 2 charge location. Draw a Battlecry minion, it costs 1 less. So it's pretty good. I mean, it's delayed, but eventually you pay 3 mana up front, but you get some of it back. At the end, it's net 1 mana, but it is delayed, so it's like worse. You're probably not... You do get mana cheat, which could be really good, but you do have to have something specific in mind. There are some really good battle cries coming later. It is like a semi-tutor for Holiday potentially, but also other legendaries we'll talk about in a little bit. Overall, it's probably pretty good. A lot of times you might just not want to play it on 3 though. You just play it later on when you just kind of have nothing better to do, right? But in Shaman, there's a lot of, because you have so many big AoEs, I think there's actually a lot of times you kind of just are happy to just use your early mana like this rather than actually even try to develop, because you'll just blow up the board anyway, because there are ways to do that in this set as well. There's also, you know, you guys are familiar with Tumbleweed and everything, right? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. So I think this is pretty good. It's like, it's way better than like an Arcane Intellect, I would think, right? So it's just only in like the late game it's worse because it's delayed and you'd rather just have the cards up front, but earlier in the game it's way better. So I think it's good. You rate this at least, you probably rate this at least a 3. It's probably, you can't rate it better than a 3 because it's just not doing that much itself, but if you have a really good legendary, it's better also. But in the average deck, it's probably just like a 3. Next up, Incredible Value. This card's a lot worse than I thought it was the first time I read it, because this is a 3 mana Shadow spell. Discover a 4-cost minion. Says attack and help to 7. So the problem with this is that you still have to... Originally I thought you actually summon the card, and I thought it was like, oh my god, this is crazy, but it doesn't actually summon it. You still have to play the card for 4 mana. So you can always high roll like a really good Battlecry and have it be crazy. But... yeah, because this is I mean, it's like you have to get something good because it's a 7 mana 7/7, right? Which is bad, actually. It's probably not. I mean, it's like the odds of high rolling it probably just aren't good enough to really justify it, right? I would think. Like, you'd rather just have a 4-drop, probably, right? You're paying 3 mana to buff a 4-drop to a 7/7, which... if you get something that's like really understated, that could be good. Like if you're buffing, if you have a 4 mana 2/2 and you buff it by 5/5, then it's worth the mana, I guess. It's another way to kind of just sandbag and not develop and set up AoEs. Like there's uses of it, right? It's not a terrible card. But yeah, you can get it, which you can get Chain Gang though. That is true, yeah. Azurite Chain Gang. If that's in Arena, we don't know if it will be. That would be like one of the big payoffs, right? Actually, wait, did they put it in, unless it's in core. I don't know if we know if it's in core or something. It happened to be in core. We can get... oh, you can get Footman, though. But it's like, we don't know if it's in core, right? Or it's not in core, so... we don't know if it's going to be in Arena then. But yeah. If you can get Chain Gang, it's crazy, but... From Badlands? Okay, yeah, but it's like, yeah, we don't know if Badland cards are in, though, so... They might be, but we just don't know, so... Overall, it's like, I guess it's like a 2 out of 5. It has uses, right? It's just not... Probably not that great. Probably take it over a Yeti, but probably just don't value it super highly. Next up, Baking Soda Volcano. 4 mana fire spell with lifesteal. Deal then 10 damage randomly split among all minions. Overload 1. So it's like the old Volcano, except the old Volcano only hit enemies. This one can hit your own board, but this one also has lifesteal. I also dislike this card, yeah. They had to make it cheaper in 5 mana because of another card we're going to see in a little bit. This is like one of the reasons why you'd actually, potentially, you're pretty happy to just spend your turn 3 not doing anything, right? You do something like this, so then... Oh yeah, Old Volcano is 15 damage and hit everything, that's true. I'm just comparing this to like Don't Stand in the Fire, which is like... That's the middle Volcano, right? So yeah, I guess this is like the 3rd Volcano, basically. But anyway. Yeah. This is a card that's like, you kind of have to be off board to use it, because otherwise, unless you're really desperate to heal and you're willing to hit your own stuff, but you kind of just have to be off board, right? So rewards that particular type of play style. Did Shaman need this? That's an excellent question. If you want to play that kind of Shaman, I mean, this card's like the best thing you could ever have, right? It's a 5 out of 5. If you're trying to actually play proactive and tempo, you don't exactly want this card. But yeah, and a control Shaman's the best card ever, so. Depends on your deck, basically, but yeah, about how it is. Next up, Sand Art Elemental. 4 mana, 4/4. Elemental. It's miniaturized. Battlecry. Give your hero +1 attack and Wind Fury this turn. Is there some particular combo with this card that you're really looking for, or other than just having like a big weapon, I guess? Otherwise, it's like this card's a little weird. I mean, you get 2 of them, which is nice, I guess, but this seems weaker in a lot of things. Turn the Tides, yeah, I guess, yeah. You turn the Tides, so then you can just hit face a bunch. That's true. We don't even know if that's going to be an arena necessarily, as we're saying, because Badlands might rotate out actually, but yeah, otherwise there's just not that much other synergy, right? Storm Strike from older cards could also come in, yeah. Otherwise, you're just like going to be pinging. In Arena, a lot of times you're just going to be swinging these face or pinging 1/1s or something, right? It's probably just not that good. I mean, it's nice to have like pings, I guess, but it's just not that great. Or Rockfire Weapon. If that card's actually like rotating back in. Nothing here, so you don't know. It's probably just fine, because I mean, you're getting like, I don't know, 5 mana, 5/5 with all these weird pings. That it's just, I just can't imagine those pings are that impactful, right? You can't really like double tap minions that much, right? So it helps with Elemental Chain, I guess, but it just seems kind of weird. You do get to chain 2 elementals if you're trying to do that, but it doesn't seem that great to me. It's better if you have like Shudder Walk or something, which we'll talk about it in a little bit, but overall it's like, I mean, this maybe is like it's maybe still good enough to be like a 3-star card. I just can't imagine it's that great usually, 'cause you're not gonna have any big payoff usually. Next up, Hagatha the Fabled. 5 mana, 4/4 Battlecry. Draw 2 spells that cost 5 or more. Transform them into slimes that cast the spells. I mean, this is disgusting if you have like any payoff at all, right? The reason they had to make this card cheaper than 5 is so it wouldn't just blow up your own board, right? Yeah, it's true, I guess. If you curve this right into, or you just play this and then you play it after Holiday, I guess, it's fair. But anyway, this is a payoff for this, but the limiting factor of this is that you have to actually get offered big spells, but probably will. It just depends. Like, if you get anything good off of this, it's, well, anything really playable at all, this card is just completely broken, right? Because once you play Hagatha and a slime, it's already paid off, and then you also have another mana cheated thing. It's just completely broken. It's just, the only question is if you can activate it with anything that it remotely works with, which is pretty much any big spell in Shaman, right? There's nothing that's going to be terrible, so assuming it's active, this is a 5-star card. It's just you can't guarantee it's going to be active. We don't know the card pool, so we don't know how many things are going to be, how reliably you can activate it. But so that's the limiting thing. So you can't 100% really rate this card right now, but it should be good, you would think. Because you have things like this, although this is an epic, so it's not, maybe not as consistent, but if you pack the house too, you know, there's that. But anyway, Once Upon a Time, 6 mana nature spell. Summon a random 3-cost beast, dragon, elemental, and thing. No, these are just 1 mana 1/1s. Aren't these just 1 mana? My understanding is that these are just 1 mana. This would be terrible if it was 7 mana. But anyway, summon a random 3-cost beast, dragon, elemental, and murloc. The problem with this, I mean, this is like another pack the house basically. This cost and stats change to match the spell's cost. Really? Oh, this is not nearly as good as I thought then. Ugh. Okay. I mean, it's still fine, I guess. It's a lot worse than I thought. You were getting mana cheat out of this. Well, that's just not clear. I thought this meant it was a 1 mana 1. Are you sure about this? Like, have you seen this? If you're sure, I guess okay. Well, it's like if these are actually not mana cheating, then I guess it's okay. I don't know. That makes it a lot worse though. You probably, I don't know, it's like a 2 to a 3 then. Okay, anyway, don't have time to talk about it longer then. Once Upon a Time. Yeah, it's like the problem about this compared to like Pack the House. I mean, a lot of those cheaper, like especially like the Murloc, right? You don't expect these to be that good, right? The Beast either. Some of these could be sticky in theory, but a lot of these, the big fear is that this could all just get like 3 damage AoE'd away, right? That would be the big fear. So I'm a little worried about that. It's still like really good on average because you're getting, it's still definitely like it's worse than Pack the House, but it would be good regardless. There's a video of how Agatha works. Okay, you are right, yeah. So that makes this like, I mean, it's good just, you pick this really just to get the guaranteed value then. But anyway, this is just a worse Pack the House basically. I mean, it's like, Pack the House is one of the best cards I ever made though, so it's like, this is probably like a 4, I would think. Yeah, it's a problem with this is that then Tumbleweed is not even good, right? Because it hits the tumble thing. Yeah, it's weird. It's really good with this though, because then you just get even more stats, even though you're then just all-inning more. But anyway, I mean, this is a good card, so we'll just move on. We have a few more cards to talk about. Hit that button. Next up is Shudder Block. 6 mana, 5/5. Miniaturize. Battle Cry. Your next Battle Cry triggers 3 times but can't damage the enemy hero. There are certain things that would be really broken with this. One of which we are going to talk about in just a second. The fact that you get another one of these is kind of insane. Wait, does this? There's no way it stacks, does it? Like, wait, if you play this and then this. Wait, would they actually stack? Now I'm not. Now I'm confused by it. Now I don't know what to trust then. Does not stack. Okay. So you have to do one and then the other one. You have to do this and then activate it and then the other one. It does say 3 times. It doesn't say. Probably doesn't stack. The way it's worded, I think it doesn't stack. So you'd have to only use, like, you play this and then you play something else and then you play this and then you play something else. There's certain things that are going to be really strong with this. It's a little slow, but like, I mean, even if you just do this with like a shock hopper or something, it's probably like good enough, right? Honestly, is the thing. So it's like, and there are certain things that are going to be broken, so it's never going to be that bad. Probably you're going to have something that's at least decent with this, you would think, right? So it should be consistent enough. And then sometimes it's going to be completely broken. It's going to be like conductivity, basically. It should be really good. Yeah, because it is like, it carries across turns. You don't have to use it immediately, because this is going to be a big reason that you will use it. This is one of the big broken things. I think it's going to be like probably a 4 to a 4.5, but then if you have this, a bunch of these, it's broken. You can do it with Azurite Murloc too, yeah. This one's Shining Sentinel. With Azurite Murloc, doesn't that just like, that makes your whole board like 11 cost things? It could be bad, actually. Can't you not even do that? Because then it just turns your whole board into like the fucking 11 drops you can't play. Kind of bad. Elusive is just cannot be targeted. This is Shining Sentinel. 7 mana, 3/7. Taunt with Elusive, Battlecry, summon a copy of this. So you play this after. You can just Shudder block into this straight up, and then you have 1228 worth of taunt suddenly. So yeah. And then you just automatically win, basically, right? Because then you use the second one for value. So literally this automatically wins. I mean, this card is just like, it's already a 6/14 in taunt, right? So I'm saying, like, there's so many such huge taunts that are just really good. It's not like super broken by itself, but, and I guess if you don't exactly have Shudder block, if you have Shudder block, you pick this card up for literally anything. If you don't have this exact card, then you could conceivably pick this for something, but it still seems like a really, really strong card just by itself, because so much taunt, and Shaman's like taunting because it gives them time to do anything they want, basically. It's just a lot of elusive too, so it's like, even if you're tempoing, it's like, yeah, you can just play this, I guess, too, so seems good. Next up, so this is the synergy for pop-up book that I mentioned, allude to in the very, very beginning. 7 mana arcane spell, Wish Upon a Star. Give +2/+3 to all minions in your hand, deck, and battlefield. So this is what's really good about that, is because you can, on turn 8, you can just play this. I mean, I guess on turn 9 you could play 2 of them if you wanted to. And then suddenly all those frogs are 2/4s. So it's really good. Obviously the idea of this, it's way too slow. You would think it's just way too slow to just rip this, but you either have to combo it with Pop-Up Book, or you have to, you know, I guess if you play it off Hagatha, it's something, right? That helps it be a little safer as well. Or you just have a board and then you just play it, right? If you just have a few totems, suddenly you have a big board of everything. So overall, it's a card that you probably don't want to draft. I mean, I guess you could. It's too greedy to draft like 3 of these, right? It's a card you could just have one of and just have it be like kind of a backup win condition. Or your main win condition, one or the other. If you slime this and then you copy the Battlecry. Yeah, it's just an arena, you can only have 1 legendary though, so cannot actually do that. But in Constructed, you're going to be seeing that like crazy. But with that, yeah, overall, I mean, it's a card you probably, by our scale, it's like you probably skip it a lot just because, like, I mean, you only want to have like at most probably 1 of these. You probably don't take 2 of these, but if you do get away with playing it, you're probably just going to win. With that, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Appreciate you guys all hanging out. Are you going to be happy to lose to Shudder Block and Sentinel rather often? And I mean, the upside of Hagatha being those minions is that it's like, at least it's like a lot more. The slimes at least give you like more total stats and value, but I don't know. It would have been a lot better if they were mana cheat like I thought they were, but anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.